A good head and good heart are always a formidable combination. But when you add to that a literate tongue or pen, then you have something very special. All men who have turned out worth anything have had the chief hand in their own education. All of us do not have equal talent. But all of us have an equal opportunity to develop our talents. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. Children must be taught how to think, not what to think. Do not read as children do to enjoy themselves, or as the ambitious do to educate themselves. No, read to live. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it, by what amuses their minds, so that you may be better able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything, without losing your temper, or your self-confidence. Education is the most powerful weapon, which you can use to change the world. Education never ends, Watson. It is a series of lessons, with the greatest for the last. Education, the path from cocky ignorance to miserable uncertainty. Education without values, as useful as it is, seems rather to make man a more clever devil. Formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. Give a girl an education, and introduce her properly into the world, and 10 to 1, but she has the means of settling well, without further expense to anybody. I am not a teacher, but an awakener. I did then what I knew how to do. Now that I know better, I do better. I find television very educating. Every time somebody turns on the set, I go into the other room and read a book. I have never let my schooling interfere with my education. If you want to get laid, go to college. If you want an education, go to the library. In learning you will teach, and in teaching, you will learn. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. It is the mark of an educated mind, to be able to entertain a thought, without accepting it. Kids don't remember what you try to teach them. They remember what you are. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn, as if you were to live forever. Marriage can wait, education cannot. Only a generation of readers will spawn a generation of writers. Prejudices, it is well known, are most difficult to eradicate from the heart, whose soil has never been loosened or fertilized by education. They grow there, firm as weeds among stones. Self-education is, I firmly believe, the only kind of education there is. Spoon-feeding in the long run teaches us nothing but the shape of the spoon. Study without desire spoils the memory, and it retains nothing that it takes in. The educated differ from the uneducated, as much as the living differ from the dead. The man who reads nothing at all is better educated than the man who reads nothing but newspapers. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. The mind once enlightened, cannot again become dark. The purpose of a good education is to show you that there are 3 sides to a 2-sided story. The task of the modern educator is not to cut down jungles, but to irrigate deserts. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. Those who educate children well are more to be honored than they who produce them, for these only gave them life, those the art of living well. To educate a person, in the mind but not in morals, is to educate a menace to society. To me, education is a leading out of what is already there, in the pupil's soul. Whatever the cost of our libraries, the price is cheap, compared to that of an ignorant nation. Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. Without education, we are in a horrible and deadly danger of taking educated people seriously. You can never be overdressed, or overeducated. You educate a man, you educate a man. You educate a woman, you educate a generation.